that what we are running here thrives primarily on mentoring, isn't it? Which means for mentoring to succeed, there has to be team building. This is not a business that can thrive on individual effort. It is a business that only thrives on building teams. And it is failure to build effective teams that breaks down a business. And in fact, an organization. Any organization at all that has been doing well before time, that has been doing well, and suddenly you find that there is this degradation coming in, or things are not working the way they should work, please find all the component teams in there and find out whether they are built well. Because in today, the question is no more whether or not you have the ability to do things. Truly, as you are sitting, you are an embodiment of ability. The question is, how successfully can you engage with others and still come out with successful results, with successful outcomes? Working together is not easy. Let's not deceive ourselves. Look around you. There are teams everywhere. In an organization, you have team, you have marketing, you have financial control, you have media, you have this. The overall reputation of the organization is dependent on the component teams that has its place in it. Therefore, it's very important as leaders, all right, to build team and to understand how to build team. Because no matter how great your team is, no matter how lofty your vision is for that team, if you do not understand the dynamics that makes a team run, that vision of yours will ultimately turn to a television. It's only a matter of time. People don't understand how powerful being team focused is. People don't understand how much building an effective team and an efficient team, how much it affects the overall efficiency of a nation. You will not believe it. The high point of my career was when I became the director of HOTS in the FCT judiciary, because I grew through the judiciary. I didn't just arrive in today as a judge. I was a magistrate, senior magistrate, chief magistrate, deputy chief registrar, director of HOTS. So I have a career spanning over 19 years in the judiciary. This is my 20th year in the judiciary. But of all of these attainments, I don't call them achievements, because achievement is of the Lord, but attainment is of our efforts. In all of these attainments, the most significant of them was when I had the responsibility to build a team. When I appeared on that scene as a director for Oath, I took it with the highest sense of responsibility for one reason. I knew that it will not work, nothing will change until the team changes. I started it off with what we call legacy consciousness. And I'm going to leave that with you as well. Legacy consciousness. A lot of people, I keep saying this and I've said it a couple of times, that a lot of us mix legacy and inheritance. We conflate them together. They are not the same thing. Legacy is not inheritance. Inheritance is what you leave for people after you are gone. Legacy is what you leave for people while you are here. People get to live in your legacy while you are alive. People get to see your values. People get to see your participation in nation building while you are here. People get to see what you have to contribute to humanity, to progress, to progression of life while you are here. And you must live conscious of it. If there's any concept in life that I'm passionate about, it is legacy creation. And that was why when I was a director of votes in the FCT judiciary, by the grace of God, together with my team, I pioneered what we call the first ever digital affidavit in the Nigerian judiciary. It's never been done. In the Nigerian judiciary and in West Africa. You can Google it, it's there. It's called ARMS. It has built credibility into our journey as Nigerians. Before now, no matter who you are, the affidavit that you will swear to will be 90% fake. Most people will never have a case in their life. Some will never have litigation, although that is not a pride. Because if you are not taken to court, you are probably too small. It's the truth. It's the truth. That means you are not affecting someone's lion share, someone's market share, significant enough for them to be grieved about it to take you to court. And it takes a lion heart to take a lion share. So don't be afraid of court. They took you to court. They could do you are big. That's why you are in court. Don't be afraid. I don't want to go to court. You're afraid of going to court. You will be small forever. I'm sorry to sound like that. You don't understand that the courts of heaven is like the courts of the earth. Of all the titles that God has, the only one that he shares with men is judge. That's why he is called the righteous judge. And we are called the earthly judges. They said only 3 people are lords. Jesus is Lord, landlord is Lord, and the judge is Lord. Until you know the powers of the court, you will not understand why God has established this earth to run like a judicial proceedings. Because it does run like judicial proceedings. You bring your supplications before God. That's what you do in court proceedings. If you do not understand and take time to deliberately know how the judicial system works, you may not understand how the courts of heaven work. It's not an exaggeration. It's the truth. Everything you do, there are rules of engagement. There are protocols of access. So one day, I went into the market. I do such things sometimes to remind me of my humanity. I went into the market and there's this customer that I have. I've had her for years. So I decided not to change her. Her shop isn't all that fantastic. But I went there and I just sat down with her. And then she said, Mama, I have this case. I want you to do it for me. I was looking at her. She said, tomorrow, can we just go to court? I was looking at her. So this is her belief. Because she knows a judge as a customer, she thinks she now has access to judicial proceedings and to the court. Foul. Because there's something called commencement of proceedings. The judge is at the back end. The upfront are layers of procedures. That's how the courts of heaven works. You enter his gate with what? And his court with what? These are rules of engagement. That's why sinners are not necessarily transgressors. Transgressors are not necessarily sinners. Transgressors are violators of rules and principles. They may not be sinners. So you know what is right, you do what is right, but you are violating principles. You are a transgressor, and the Bible says that the ways of the transgressor is hard. So one of the reasons why we are here today is to ensure that we do not, as leaders, we hold it as responsibility or as leaders. If you are not a leader, no problem. But as long as you are a leader, you hold it as a responsibility not to be a transgressor. To ensure that you are not a transgressor, you must ensure that you know the principles that makes for rising. You know the principles that makes for being established upon this earth. You know the principle that makes for legacy creation upon this earth. So that when you leave a mark. Legacy is how people perpetuate their names. It's not about children and it's never about offsprings. Have you heard of people before who had so much wealth, who had so much abundance, they built a conglomerate. After they left, their name left with them. Yet they had children. Does it not tell you that what perpetuates your name is who you have built? Do you get the point? It is a profitable thing to have teamwork. And people who do not understand teamwork cannot arrive big in tomorrow. It's not a curse. You just have to be deliberate about it. You must learn how to work with people. And guess what? You must also learn how to work in people. Because it is not so much. It is not so much what you live. It is who you live. Who are you living? You can leave this building. Building will burn away. But human beings won't go away. Find a few ones that are hungry and truly love you and deposit in them. Build them, build them, build them. In whatever area, build them, build people. Who are you putting under their wings today? Who are you mentoring? Who are you shielding? When she was sharing with me downstairs, you didn't still send that picture to me. When she was sharing the athlete, what's it called? Athlete mentorship program with me, I had goose pimples. I said, this is a woman that gets it. There are very few, truly, there are very few in leadership cadre that gets it. Touring is an obligation you have as a leader. It is not an option you take. Life has poured in you and you have arrived in today a success, a director. Please mentor someone. Key into that program. Let it be a mandatory thing that you do. Participate with all of your heart. I hope I've made a difference this morning. Is that it? Good. So let's go into it. Now, if you look at this slide, you will see all manner of skills that leaders are supposed to have. Truly, it's not only team building that is a skill you must have as a leader. You must have communication skills too. You must be able to communicate your vision. For people to buy into it, you must be able to communicate. You must have leadership skills, collaboration skills, interpersonal relationship skills, networking skills. Because of the two currencies in life that runs people high and large, networking skills is primary amongst them. Why? Because it runs on relationships. Advantageous connections. Not just connections, advantageous connections. If it's going to be advantageous to your journey, it must be deliberate. Deliberately crafted. If you are going to take a business class, please be sure that you are using it also for networking. Advantageous networking. You're taking a flight, be conscious of networking. Because the greatest currency skill for this future that we are in now is networking. And if you find yourself in the networking business, you found yourself in the best business. Emotional intelligence skills. Very important. Everybody you are engaging with, you are engaging with their emotions, not just their person. You are engaging with their emotions. That's why people will see and say, I don't like him. I don't like her. They've engaged with your emotions. So emotional intelligence is very key. So that people don't begin to misunderstand you anyhow. And then you begin to create viral issues. You don't need it. We are in business. You don't need it. I am not in business. You are the one in business. So you don't need it. All right? Teamwork and team dynamics. Very key. You know what John Maxwell said? He said the ultimate measure of your leadership capacity, how we can ultimately measure that you are truly a leader, is not how you can make people work harder. It is how you can make people work together. So you see a leader pushing people, choosing you can do it. You can do it. You are a wrong leader. You are a parasite. But when you build mentoring, working together, teamwork, he said that's the ultimate measure of your leadership skill and your leadership capacity. How much you can make people work together. See, until you become deliberate about how people work together, you won't know how hard it is to work together. You are still running things on your own. That's why you are still having this outcome. You want an exponential outcome? Learn how to work together. And mentoring is the principal key. Now, we have learning objectives because I believe in, setting clear goals, setting clear records. So at the end of this training, there are certain expectations that you must have, and there are certain reality that must happen. If they don't happen, then I have failed. and you can hold me to it. The first one is that by the end, you should be able to describe team dynamics effectively. So if I say, please, what is team dynamics, you can tell me what it is. All right? At the end also, you can tell me what you can identify as poor team dynamics and what you can identify as excellent team dynamics. You should be able to also explain to me the impact of team dynamics in performance and in general organizational outcomes. All right? You should be able to identify and develop what the essential skills are for team building. And then you should be able to identify the early warning signs of an ineffective team. Because an ineffective team does not just appear. There are early warning signs. So that is the learning objective for today. I have said it, look around us, there are teams everywhere. It is not so much that whether you would do things, you have capacity. It's how would your involvement with others be successful and productive in today. So the idea for people sitting here is that we are able to build a world-class leadership team. World-class. If you are up for it, let me see your hand. World-class. Some are raising 2 hands. Amazing. Thank you, my brother. World class. When we say world class, world standards are involved. International best practices are involved. And to enter into a thing, you enter with knowledge. You get the point? So how does this even happen? They have told us before now that leadership is a marathon. How many of you have heard it? They say leadership is a marathon, is not a sprint, right? Yeah. We have heard it, right? Foul is wrong. It's wrong. This man, I revere him a lot. I think this is one of the greatest men that ever lived. Transcended their graves. Long gone, but yet still speaking in the minds of people. Long gone, yet still transforming the minds of people today. His name is Dr. Miles Monroe. Your grandfather. What did Miles Monroe tell us about leadership being a marathon and not a sprint? He said that is wrong ideology. He said it is important to understand that leadership is a relay race. It's not a marathon, it's not a sprint. It's a relay race. When I learned about this, I went to go and study the athletic paradigm called relay race. Wow! It's one of the most technical in the athletic process. There are ways you can receive the baton and you will be disqualified. There is a crossing line. Within that space, that is when the baton must pass. If you even came first in your own leg and you drop the baton, the whole team is disqualified. Very delicate game. Extremely delicate game. As I was studying about it, I was understanding purpose the more. Do you know why a lot of people do not perpetuate what they do good in life? They pass that space of baton, holding the baton and going to the end. At the end of their journey, they have passed nothing. You know why? Because all they have is inheritance. They didn't pass legacy. So it is not a marathon. It is a relay. You must understand when you get to that opening, that line of the passing, and believe me, that's where you are now. Don't miss it. Don't miss that thing, that critical concept called legacy. Don't miss it. And you know why? Team building is one of the greatest way of replicating legacy. It's the cheapest way of getting your legacy. Team building. So focus on it. Relay leadership is what we must focus on. The place of the passing of the baton is the most important of them all. All right? So passing of the baton is what that gives you that legacy creation. You already know the difference between legacy and inheritance, right? You know that legacy is the sum total of the values that you have, your ability to impact people. That is legacy. Inheritance is what you leave for people and they cannot come into it until you die. And it can burn away. But your legacy moving on 2 legs can't just go away. All right? So it is a function of what versus who. what you live versus who you live. I have said that many times. Create a legacy of impact. Now let's go to team building. This same man, Maxwell, he went for a training, I think in Los Angeles. I'm not sure about my facts anymore. He went for a training, and he was, he's the greatest proponent of team building and teamwork. He's one of the greatest proponents of it. Those were the ones who realized how efficiency can be built through teamwork. So he said, after he had spoken so eloquently about teamwork, team dynamics and all of that, one young man walked up to him and said, please, Dr. Maxwell, can you give me just one salient, important point that I need to learn about teamwork? The man turned to him and said, there's none. He said, no, one very important factor that I need to learn about teamwork. He realized that that man was not going to go away. So he had to get creative. So he turned to him, he said, one important factor that you need to learn about teamwork is that there is more than one thing to learn. The young man looked quizzical. He looked confused, and suddenly light came to his eyes. He understood the point. Teamwork is a process, and it comes in phases. Teamwork is a process, and it comes in phases. So the work you will do in this phase will be different from the work you will do in the other phase, and in the next phase, and in the next phase. You must understand these phases, because when you enter into the phase and you don't understand the phase where you are, you won't know how to deploy your asset for that phase. So these are the general phases of team development. The first phase is what we call the forming phase. Can we read it together? We have the forming, storming, numbing, performing, adjourning. Can we do it again? Forming, storming, numbing, forming, and adjourning. Some never get to this point because it is a team in perpetuity, not for a specific task. When you get to the forming stage, the basic characteristics that you will see is that there will be a lot of display of eagerness and socializing. People are happy that they are coming together, they have a purpose and all of that. The strategy you must deploy to ensure that that stage does not turn sour is that you must ensure that there is good team leadership. I'm going to ask you questions, and very soon I'll start asking the questions. You must provide leadership quickly. Otherwise, you will enter into the next stage called the storming stage. One of the greatest characteristics you will find in the storming stage is competition and conflict. Team members will be competing with one another, and there will be so much conflict. That's what we call the hot red zone. They will be fighting against one another. That's where your role as a leader comes in. And what the strategies you need to do is to encourage people. Encouragement is what they need at that moment the most. It is also the most pivotal stage and phase of team building, because if you can survive storming, you will arrive in performing. Okay, so the next stage from that is numbing, and this is where leadership is very key, because you will have to do a lot of reconciliation, a lot of relief for anxiety, developing cohesion strategies for people, and you must learn it. Leadership is very key in team building, very key. So when you enter into a phase, you already know. When your team members are sending messages to your WhatsApp, you already know the phase where you are. When you receive those messages where he said, please, I need you to address this issue, you already know the stage where you are. And you must know the strategy to deploy to get things running. If you can numb, all right, this is where you have personality differences. And I'm going to talk largely about that. If numbing happens, definitely you're going to be performing. Once you're performing, you are making money. For me, when you are not making money, you are not performing, no. Because I believe in living a well-rewarded life. All these thankless jobs, I don't believe in them. I don't believe in them. I believe that there's a place of sowing and there's a place of giving, and I believe that. But where people just take advantage of you anyhow, no. People must live a well-rewarded life. That is where fulfillment comes from. Otherwise, they will not be fulfilled. Reward is a system in any organization that is very key and very important. All right? That is why in every even networking system, you always find the reward system at the end of it, isn't it? There's always a reward system. Okay? So, performing is what gives you that. So we have the forming, storming, norming, and performing. Like I said, working together is not always easy. So they tell us also that teamwork makes the dream work. Can we read it together? Teamwork makes the dream work. Is this correct? You think so? You are very wrong. Very wrong. Teamwork will never make the dream work until team dynamics is sorted out. It is team dynamics that makes the dream work. What then is team dynamics? If that is what is responsible for your dream working, if that is what's responsible for building a veritably good team, what then is team dynamics? So let's get more interactive here. What is team dynamics? Who is helping me? Who has an understanding? Maybe you can hazard a guess. You don't have to have a full understanding. Can you hazard a guess? I love your red. Very beautiful. Yes. So who can hazard a guess as to what is team dynamics? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Team dynamic is the process of identifying the individual strength and their ability to connect together.
Awesome. I'm going to be taking out keywords. Individual strength. Another person?
I think it's the
Okay.
integration
Uh-huh.
of
Please sit down, sir.
the resourcefulness
Uh,
of every nitty-gritty of a team, that is individuals,
yes.
what they can do, how they can do it, their experience put together
Aha.
like a thread or something that connects everybody.
Fantastic.
Everybody where they act.
Truly belong. Exactly. The keyword there, integration. Keyword there, integration. Let me pick another keyword. Yes?
The interactions, relationships, and the processes with which a team works towards a common goal.
Thank you. Interaction. Did you hear integration, interaction, strength? No, we're going to end with that strength. So we start with integration, interaction. Yes? Okay, woman now, please.
Behavioral relationship.
Fantastic. Behavioral, very, very important.
Okay, within a team is intricate processes that need to be harmonized.
Una sabi oyinbo for here. Oh. Hey.
So you need to have ability for collaborations, understanding,
Wow. Harmonization. Harmonization. Nobody has talked about weaknesses, so because it has to end with weakness and strength.
I think just to add to what every other person has said, also understanding their emotional states and intentions.
Emotional state. Remember when I said you engage with people on emotions? Absolutely. Keyword again, another keyword. Yes, give it to a woman.
Okay. You as a team leader, after discovering the strength and the weaknesses of your team members, you should be able to know how to collaborate, not just collaborate. You'll be able to
Harness them.
coordinate.
Coordinate, thank you, you don't do.
Achieve
That's
the
it.
goal.
That's the key word. Coordinate. You recognize strength, you recognize patterns, you recognize everything, but you cannot utilize, then you will not be able to deploy. Do you get the point? You will not be able to deploy if you only recognize and you do not utilize. All right, so after today, take it as an assignment, go and study pattern recognition and pattern utilization. Okay, so understanding the role of team dynamics to make a work healthy environment is the main reason why we are all gathered here. Because the profitability of your organization is dependent on team dynamics. Whether people enjoy their work or not, team dynamics. Whether you retain staff or you do not retain staff, staff retention, team dynamics causes it. Team and individual performance, and guess what? The reputation of your organization is determined by team dynamics. If team dynamics is that so important, then we must define it properly. There are certain components of team dynamics, and you must understand them. First, team dynamics is unseen. Whether it is positive team dynamics or negative team dynamics, you are playing it out and you are unconscious of it. Isn't that amazing? That looks to me like a mental stronghold. All right? It is also a psychological force. So its residence is in the subliminal state of your mind. Team dynamics resides in the subliminal state of your mind. You are acting it out and you do not know. I will tell you how I identified certain team dynamics when I was a director of oaths with the FCT judiciary. But there are certain things that are responsible for the building of these dynamics. There are basically two. One is leadership style. It will create team dynamics whether you like it or not. The second is personality type. So let's leave leadership. People like Linus Okori will come and talk to you about leadership. Let me take personality type. See, the key to self-awareness, all right, is know thyself. Know thyself. It is Socrates that said it. Leader, know thyself. If you do not know thyself, you cannot know other people. If you do not know other people, you cannot work with other people. Do you get my point? Now, to know yourself, you must understand the basic paradigms that have been created over the years by the works of remarkable people. Remarkable people like someone we call Carl Jung. Carl Jung devised this paradigm. And I want to take it for granted that people understand this paradigm. How many of you have ever seen it? I want to see your hands so before I start making assumptions. Whoa, no, you are joking. Okay, so this is what we call the personality type construct. So this is it. If you understand this, it will help you, one, in interpersonal relationships. Two, it will help you in teamwork and team building. Three, it will help you in your emotional life. Four, it will help you in your family life. Five, it will help you to truly build legacy. Because it is not with everyone that you can build legacy. Those 5 things will happen if you truly internalize this thing. There are so many personality paradigms, but I brought out this one because it's the most simple to understand. It's called the Jungian theory. It was designed by a man, a philosopher, a Greek philosopher called Carl Jung. Carl Jung built on the work, it comes from the lungs, right? If that's what you have the most in you, in fact, some people even live under it. I mean, constantly they're having it being produced. You will see that they have a huge volume of it. They have given all manner of medical names, but it's just that they have so much of it. If you look at them, they are mostly phlegmatics. In fact, I have not seen anybody with that condition who is not a phlegmatic. I have never seen. All right? So this is what Carl Jung now built on. And he said, when you have a team, in every team that you have or that you are building, you will find sanguine. What are their characteristics? They are talkatives. They are the life wire of the party. They walk into a room with their mouth, not their face. So when you know a sanguine is coming in, you'll be hearing the sanguine, you will not even see him. So from that place, you'll be hearing, hey, my man, how are you? So good to see you. You know that he has arrived. How many of you know people like that? They are very sociable, very responsive. You tell them, let's do it. You say, oh, yeah, let's do it together. But can they sustain it? That's another question. All right? Then you have the choleric. On every team, you will have them. How will you identify these cholerics? Okay, they are very optimistic and very active. Listen to me. The choleric is active, but the sanguine is very lively. Can you see the difference? One is lively, one is active. It means one is a doer, one is a socializer. Do you get the point? So if you mix socializing with doing, then you will put the wrong peg in the wrong hole, or the right peg in the wrong hole. Do you get the point now? One is lively, the other is active. The choleric is very optimistic. There is nothing like it can't be done with them. Oh. A quiet man with great conviction will arrive in the greatest of places in tomorrow. It's only a matter of time. When you also find on your team someone who is so unsociable, very quiet and non-committal, know that you are dealing with a melancholy. How would you now use their strengths and weaknesses to build your own, the vision you have for your team? How? This is where the work is, and this is exactly where we're going to be doing it together. Have you noticed that the sanguine people are very popular? They have this easy life, optimistic, they excel in communication. Communication, dissemination is easy for them. They are warm, they are talented. Unfortunately, they are unstable, they are forgetful, and they are unreliable. How do you now work with such people? It's through a system called individual regulation, or what we call self-management. Self-management. You can tell a sanguine today, my brother, I have this vision. Oh. He will tell me, my sister, where did you hide this thing all this while? This is good, this is good, this is good, it will work. You say, hey, how do you think it will work? He will look up and down, we say, I don't know, but I know it will work. Then you tell him, okay, do you have, oh, you live with one, thank you. He'll say, okay, what do we need? He say, we need to go and see the Minister of Information. Then we'll go and see the Minister of Industry, we'll go and see the He say, okay, so when do we go? Say, tomorrow now, we'll go tomorrow by 9 a.m., let's go. We'll meet here. 9 a.m. He's still in bed. How? He has forgotten. Deliberately? No. He's intrinsically wired like that. So it is intrinsically wired like that. Therefore, as a team leader, you know that such individuals, by 5 a.m. you will call them. Do you get my point? Now, look at the choleric. Their strength is that they are finishers of work, finishers of projects. They are hardworking. They are driven by goals. They are so passionate about what they are doing that when you give them an assignment, just go and sleep. If you tell them, put this report on my table by 5 p.m., by 1 p.m., that report is on your table. Impeccable results they will give you. Impeccable results. Guess what? The funny part about them is they are very disrespectful and judgmental. They cannot stand mediocrity at all. They don't have the temerity to accommodate people. I used to know one. Someone went to the boss and said, my mother is in the hospital. I need to go and see her. My mother is in the hospital. And the boss said, I will give you some money to give to her. Are you the doctor who will treat her? That is a choleric speaking. You need not hold it against him. You just have to find a way to integrate yourself into his heart and make him to understand by managing him. Once you realize that you're a choleric, you must deliberately learn empathy. How to put yourself in other people's shoes. I'm sure you understand what empathy is. That's their greatest need, because they are very disrespectful and self-centered. Guess the phlegmatic, the greatest asset of a phlegmatic is peace. It is also the greatest disadvantage of phlegmatics. Because they want peace on this side, one peace on that side, they will never take a position. So you will ask him, what is your take on this? You say it's good, it's quite good. Then what is your take on this opinion? It's also remarkable. Which one is it now? Never decisive. They are easygoing. They don't demand anything. They are very consistent individuals. You tell them show up by 9, they'll show up by 9. But get them to be committed to what you are doing, they are not going to be committed. And you know what? These individuals, when they are well regulated, they always arrive in tomorrow very big and very large. But when they are not well managed, they arrive in tomorrow a failure. Because you and I know that there's a stage you get to in life. You have to be decisive. You have to decide either to do it or not to do it. And then you tell yourself, if I perish, I perish. It's one of the hallmarks of leadership. That was what I told myself as a director then. If I perish, I perish. But I know whom I have believed, and I am persuaded that I will not perish. Do you get the point? So that's a weakness that they have. Non-committal individuals. All right? The melancholy are called perfect people. You will have them on your team. They are valuable assets. They are very good with aesthetics. All right? They are calm people. They are very quiet. They are sober. They are gifted. They are talented. Aren't they wonderful? They have deep commitment. They have faithful tendencies. They are very loyal. Extremely loyal. No matter what it is that you are doing that is bad, they are very, very loyal people. You will find a woman who is a melancholy, married to a sanguine man who is philandering up and down, and she will still stick to that man with all the commitment that is in her. These people are very good to have in life. I strongly believe that when life wants to reward you, it will give you a perfect melancholy in your life. But the question is, will you be able to manage their weaknesses? Because they are easily depressed, they procrastinate, they are very revengeful people. They will be quietly looking at you for 7 years. The day they will bring forth their revenge. Hey, I'm telling you, you are wrong. But why did they have to wait till 17 years to tell you? All right? So, melancholy people will be on your team. You must learn how to manage them. Constantly ask them, are you all right? Are you okay? Is there anything bothering you? And he will say, then you say, tell me, is there anything bothering you? So that you can detect the early warning signs. You know, we talked about the early warning signs? So, this is where you get to work. I will know now whether you can truly build a team on personality types. Are you ready? This is another model called the DISC model. DICS. What I need you to do now, because you have to be active about it, is you will map this model. If you have to draw it, draw it. If you want to use your paper and your biro, now is the time. You will map it with this and tell me who is this person on this model. Are we ready? DISC, dominant. The positive dynamics that a dominant personality type will bring to your team is that they are direct, they are decisive, they are doers, they are workaholics. Unfortunately, their negative dynamics is that they are domineering and they are very demanding. Who is this? You're saying it's a choleric. I want to see your hand. You are still not sure. Look at the positive and the negative dynamics again. Okay, just take a position. You cannot be a phlegmatic here. Just take a position. No, you cannot. Melancholy, one, yes. Choleric, yes. Choleric, choleric. If you have something else to say it, not choleric anymore. Melancholy, thank you, yes? Yeah? Melancholy, perfect. Hold that thought there. Okay, so we have the influential. The influential, the positive dynamics they will bring is they are very inspirational, interactive, they are very interesting. Unfortunately, they are irritating and very impulsive. Sanguines, right? Any other opinion? Fantastic. Now be careful. Compliant. They are very cautious and careful, and they are very conscientious. Unfortunately, they are calculating and condescending people. Steady. S. They are stable, supportive, and sincere. Unfortunately, they are slow and too sensitive. All right, let's see what we have here. The dominant, all right, is the choleric. So if you said choleric, clap for yourself. The influential is the sanguine. So if you said sanguine, congratulations. The steady is the melancholy. Only her got it right. Yes, she's the only one who got that right. You did? Oh, you did it? Ah, okay. Then compliant is the phlegmatic. So this shows me that you have a fair understanding of how this thing works. Therefore, if you want to organize, let's say, national award, and you are to build a team, a fun, fair team, who are the people, personality types you will be looking for? Sanguine. And what's the combination? Predominantly sanguine and cholerics. Predominantly sanguines. If you are to form tomorrow a national strategic planning committee, because we are leaders, so we should be thinking national and global. You are supposed to form a listen, because when it comes to introverts, you have to be careful. You are to form a national strategic committee, strategic planning committee for Nigeria, who predominantly, apart from their skill set, you know, there's a place of skill set, and then there's a place of personality type. What personality type would you be building for that committee? So this time around, you will answer why. Madam, your role starts. You will tell me why you are suggesting that personality type for strategic sustenance. All right? So self-regulation is what sanguines and cholerics need the most. Self-motivation is what melancholy and phlegmatics need the most. So it is very possible that you, as a melancholy, will find yourself in the position of a marketer. Sometimes it is possible. So what do you think you need? You need to motivate yourself. You need to put yourself in learning environments that will constantly motivate you. You need to be in association with people that will keep propping you up and motivating you. I have seen preachers in life who are absolute phlegmatics. I have seen preachers in life who speak with passion and brimstone, who are truly a melancholy. What made them to defy the odds of their personality and still succeed at what they are doing? It is rooted in self-motivation. So when I hear people say, I cannot do it, I don't understand why you cannot do it. If you understand self-motivation, I cannot regulate myself. This is how I talk. This is what are you joking? You must manage yourself. Because everywhere you are, there you are. And you must manage it. Either through regulation or motivation. Management, regulation is the only way can birth harmony. So that's how people create positive results in any team. So today I believe I have installed that button on you, such that anywhere you are focused on building teams quickly, because you can build 13 teams at once. It's possible. So we're rounding up now. Let me ask you this. What personality type do you think is most loyal? It's actually melancholy. Which personality type is fun to be with? Choleric sees everything as a business and as a mission. They are on a mission. They want to woo this woman. So they will chart a trajectory. Yes. An execution plan. Monday, deliver flowers. Tuesday, deliver chocolate. Wednesday, take her out for dinner. Thursday, plan a
going out together. Saturday, go to the South Beach together. You will go through all of that, right? You will see them as your world. The most romantic. Once that mission is accomplished, next mission. That is why the marriages of most cholerics break down. Seriously. So, it is not their fault. Don't get it wrong. Don't malign them. It is not their fault. It is the fault of the one who married a choleric who does not know that he has married a choleric. He has married a man on a mission. So if this is the vision and the mission is completed, you follow him into the next mission. What's the next mission? You must constantly be finding out what his next mission is and integrate yourself to it. That's why when somebody mentioned integration, I said hold that thought. Hold it, because we're going to get back to it. Integration. Constantly integrating yourself into it. Otherwise, you will arrive in tomorrow, you will say, this man does not love me. I'm packing my things and I'm going. But you were a mission. It's accomplished. What else? The man works by mission. When he is unregulated. When he is unregulated. Because there are two things that can regulate us. Our nurturing can regulate us, and the presence of the Holy Spirit can regulate us. That's why we have the Spirit-influenced life. If you have the Holy Spirit active within you, He's able to bear witness with your spirit to let you know when you are right and when you are wrong. But the problem is sometimes we know that we are wrong. We just don't know how to get to the city. You know when the Bible says that you don't know how to get to the city. So there are a lot of people with an intention to get things right. They just don't know the way to the city. That is why places like this, training environments like this, are very important to be in. It teaches you how to get to the city. It also gives you critical networking ability as well. So who is the most romantic? He is the one. He's the one who will do it with perfection. You will be blown away. But you must learn that once that mission is completed, find his next vision. Find his next vision. Integrate yourself into it. If you now ask me, what is the best job for an introvert? These are the best jobs for an introvert. You can't go through them. Doctor, detective, judges, magistrate, drivers, architects, private investigators. And I know you will ask me a question. Madam, you are largely a sanguine. Thank you. How come this is best for an introvert? And you are likely an extrovert? I'm going to answer that question very soon. For extroverts, what are the best jobs? Lawyers, teachers, nurses, preachers, not pastors, preachers, marketers, life coach, event planners, recruitment consultants, tour guide, actors, marketing, yes, marketers. These are the best jobs for an extrovert. Is it possible that you will be in any of these categories, like myself, a judge and a magistrate? Yes. All right, and you are in the wrong space for your personality type. Only that, I am now doing public speaking. So the gloominess that can come with finding myself in a grave job, you will be surprised if you see me in court. You will not know that it's the same person. Because that's what the duty commands. But if I consistently do that without doing what I love, it's only a matter of time. I will be buried in a rut. And most people are buried in a rut. And they do not know. Because number one, they never try to intentionally question, what is it that I love? How can I integrate it with where I am right now? Very few people are like Dr. Very few. It's not everybody that's that fortunate. Truly. That you have great entrepreneurial skills and you are in that space of entrepreneurship. It's not everybody that has that fortune. If I don't have it, I will not die because I'm not like him. I am going to fashion my way around it. When one door closes, you force the window open. Do you get the point now? Yes. So I know a lot of you want to ask questions around it, and that's why I decided to create clarity around it. Is it also possible that you are born as one personality type and you end up as another personality type? It's very possible. it is around this debate called nature versus nurture. There are some things that our nurturing will build. If the Holy Spirit has found is working in your life, you will be different from who you were born to be. Sometimes. And if society has found a nurturing in your life also, for good or for bad, you will still be different from what you were born to be. However, there are some factors, if they find their way into your life, you are doomed. These are the factors. Fear. The devil can do nothing to you until you open the door of fear. As leaders, you must know it. I'm rounding up now. So be intense and be keen in the spirit as we round up. The devil can do nada to you until you open the door of fear. Intimidation. You can destroy the whole team that you have built if you do not know what you do that can constitute intimidation to your team members. Abandonment. She's not doing well. We have given her task. She will not do it. We have done this. She will not do it. We abandon her. Rejection. Criticism. Social scripting. Abuse. Trauma. All of this can cause people to mutate in personality. As leaders, and especially as team leaders, to ensure that you are not the causative factor for any individual shifting quadrants, that you are not the reason for any team member changing from who they are to who they ought not to be. Let us be intentional nurturers. Let us be intentional nurturers. Let us be intentional helpers. Because of all things, where we are all a product of help. We are helped men. There are some who pushed in the same hard work, but never arrived in today. We are all helped men. Let us be conscious about helping others and nurturing others. With this, I thank you all for listening to me. And I